Hey guys, 1 second here bringing on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we got an official recognition in the news today of an issue that is present in the game currently with the Int 19 and Jiro EZA. Now, I think these guys got a really good EZA. I've been using them in a bunch of different events, although obviously when it comes to some of the tougher missions and some of the other showcases that I've been doing, I've been using the private server because I don't have my own Android 16. And I so far haven't really encountered any huge issues with them, but I'm not sure if the private server has the same issue, because I know obviously it is structured slightly differently and some things could be changed and tweaked and stuff. Like obviously there's basic stuff like having all the item slots open regardless of the event, but I'm not sure if, as they do take the unit like info and everything straight from the data download, whether or not this is present on the private server or not. But either way, I've been using these guys quite a bit. But there is a notice that came into the news as of today, and I had seen some people mention this on Twitter previously. But dear players, thank you for your support of Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. An issue has been found with a character's passive skill. So the activation condition when receiving an attack is not functioning as intended. So Dr. Jiro and Android 19 after Extreme Z Awakening. This issue is scheduled to be fixed at a later date. Once it is resolved, we will inform you via an in-game announcement. We sincerely apologize for inconvenience. Please enjoy or continue to enjoy Dokkan Battle. So basically the thing is, when you look at their EZA passive, you can see they have, when receiving an attack, extra defense 190%. Now this is one of the things that makes their EZA quite good, because with all the support that's available on the Android 16 team, as a unit that will generally be floating in slot 3, by the time they get to attack, they will have received a ton of support on the rotation, right? Android 16 getting hit gives a bunch of extra defense. Android 16 doing his unit super, if he has an Android 17 or 18 on the rotation with him, obviously provides even more defense. And so then these guys, by the time they take a hit, their defense is going to be quite high, especially again if they're in slot 3. They'll have gotten their super attacks off first, and they greatly raise defense on their super. So by the time these guys get hit, their defense is almost tripling, right? If it was 200%, it would be exactly triple what you see in the screen. But it's almost triple, right? 190% extra. That gives them a crazy amount of defense. Now, apparently the issue is this is not activating, or not activating straight away. I've seen some screenshots where like they will take a hit and not get the buff, and then they get hit like a second time and they get the buff, which in some situations is fine, because with the amount of defense that they can potentially have and the fact that they have, where is it, 39% damage reduction, yeah, there you go, per Android ally on the team, as long as you have 4 Android allies, and they are one of them, so 3 other Androids. They got 39% damage reduction, so a lot of the time if it's just a normal, it can be fine, but there's been screenshots of them taking like a super in slot 1 as the first attack, and taking like loads of damage, or even like normals from a built up Rose, because obviously you could put them in slot 1 to absorb his super attack, but they're getting hit with a normal from him and taking tons of damage because it is not activating. So I was going to jump into an event quickly and just kind of see if we could get a few goes and see if we could see this actually like happening in real time. So if we go over to the showcase part here, you can see we've got Jiro and 19 on the rotation. We have currently 547k defense. Now the Tech Zamasu is the only one attacking in slot 1, so we'll probably jump in a couple more times, because annoyingly this guy, his normals only hit for 1.6 million, and we have type advantage, which is like essentially guard, so that drops that down. I think it is the equivalent of like cutting it in half, which would be 800k. So in theory, they would still take some damage, but again, they've still got the 39% damage reduction. So they're not going to take any damage in slot 1 here, but we should be able to see, I'll attack Rose as well, see if we can actually see him get the buff there. We should see the damage indicator come up as long as the Zamasu doesn't instantly super. Yeah, so as you can see, they took a lot of damage and no icon came up for the defense up for them. And that is the issue, right? Where that should activate straight away. They shouldn't have taken any damage. And there you see on the second hit, the defense up icon comes into play. So, I mean, the funny thing is, like, with the damage that they, with the HP absorption that they get from their super attack, They took, was it 100k from that Zamasu normal, which again, like you can see, that's where the issue comes into play, because with type advantage, 39% damage reduction, and then what should be the extra 190% defense when taking a hit, they shouldn't take any damage from Tech Zamasu in slot 1, but of course they did. So it is an annoying issue. I mean, the thing is with these guys, as I say, like with them being in slot 3 a lot of the time as a floating support, this won't come into play a lot of the time in terms of, obviously the issue still occurs, but it won't be like a huge deficit. It won't like result in you getting killed most of the time. Because obviously, even in this kind of event against Rose and Zamasu, like, probably not a good idea to put them in slot 1 if there's multiple attacks from Rose, because yes, whilst they will absorb the Ki Blast super attack, their start of turn defense is obviously not the craziest. So normals from him have the potential to do a pretty significant amount of damage to them. So at the moment they are bugged, which is a little bit annoying, but you know, it's one of those things. It is what it is. Of course you get locked in slot 1. So I was going to say this would be a great opportunity to get the 16 unit super so that we can see what these guys' defense is looking like on the turn after an Android 16 unit super has happened and they've gotten the buff. But obviously Cell's just going to instantly get one tapped here and then we get the revival and go on to the next turn. So I just wanted to make people aware of this issue. Obviously it's in the news and it is being addressed. Obviously no idea exactly when it will be fixed, and I'm sure it will just be another one of those classic cases of the issue getting fixed and then a notice in the news saying, you know, sorry for the inconvenience, here's one Dragonstone. And then yeah, that will be that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it is one of those things that could cause a potential issue if you are going up against some of these tougher events where normal attacks would make a big difference. I mean, obviously in this event, like by the time you get rid of Zamasu but Rose's taken a decent bit of build up, there is the potential that he could do a lot of damage. Annoyingly, they're locked into the middle. So what are they on here? 674. Hopefully second form Cell can just dodge. But I mean, these guys, this is why I think their EZA is so good. 674k, that's without having the Android 16 unit super from the previous turn. Now bear in mind that not only do they greatly raise on their super attacks, that's a 50% chance, and then when they receive an attack, as long as it actually works, they're getting that 190%. This is where this can be an issue against characters that would be hitting them sort of hard with their like normal attacks, especially because Ki Blast supers we know we don't have to worry about. But even without their super attack effect coming into play, 674k plus 190% is 1.95 million. So taking into account their super as well, they're well over 2 million defense when they attack, and they also have 40% damage reduction. So we'll see how they get on here, because obviously they are going to take some hits from Rose. Also, I mean, that's if Cell doesn't just instantly get clapped in slot 1, which, as long as he, come on, don't get hit, Cell. What are you doing? Dodge, brother. There we go. That's what we like to see. I don't know why he's attacking Rose. Everyone else on the... Like, I attacked Rose first by accident on the first turn and then retargeted everyone to Zamasu, so I'm not really sure why AGL Cell was attacking Zamasu on this turn. But now, look at this, all these additionals. So Rose is going to have been hit like 4 times now by the time he attacks the Jiro in 19. And I mean, his normals already do 1.25 million. He gets an extra 50% attack when Zamasu is present. So his normals already do nearly 2 million. And then he's been hit 4 times. These guys double supered, so that's good. So they've got pretty solid defense now. But I think this is where the glitch will come into play and be the most, yeah, because 200, I mean, that's 2.4 million damage that they took from that AoE. And bear in mind that what should have happened is when the AoE hit them, they should have got 190% extra defense. So with them having like, what was it, 670 odd K start of turn. Now I know greatly raised, the 50% isn't on their actual like overall defense, but even so, if they had like 670k after 2 greatly raising super attacks, they should be on at least 800 or 900k, right? Post super attacking. So if we think about, like, if it was 800k plus 190%, that puts their defense to like 2.3 million damage defense with 40% damage reduction. So they should have easily, I say easily, they should have tanked that attack from Rose, or at least survived. But of course, due to this glitch or this issue, we died, right? And that is where it does make a big difference, because even if they were in slot 3, like, getting hit with that AoE before they've had a chance to attack, that's pretty brutal. And if the glitch was not in play and they were getting that defense buff, obviously normally we wouldn't have hit Rose at all at that point, then, you know, they would be able to tank that AoE. I guarantee if I jump back in, they won't be on the first turn, so we could see it again. Let me guess, slot 7. Okay, well, they're on the second turn. I mean, they could get locked in slot 1. I guess we could literally have one extra look here just to see what happens. That's if we don't immediately die, because actually this is a really, really bad starting rotation. Super 17 in slot 1 is definitely not like a go-to. I'm attacking Rose again as well. What am I even doing? Let's just quit. Jump back in. And see if we can get a 19 and 20 on turn 1. Because, yeah, Rose doing the AoE, like, that has a serious effect, because that will likely be, in most scenarios, that will be the first attack they take of the turn. Yeah, see there? I mean, we could go ahead and put them in slot 1 again. I mean, that's the good thing about them absorbing Ki Blast super attacks, is that, like, they should be able to survive well enough in slot 1 if we get the barrage of oncoming enemy supers, but obviously with both of these guys attacking once in slot 1, Rose always attacks first, and he's the one that we don't have type advantage over. So obviously, they got, are you serious? They got locked. Oh, I've pressed auto battle as well by accident. Great. So yeah, probably not the best example for trying to show this live, like, without having to cut a bunch of times, because of course Rose and Zamasu having the rotation locking does make that pretty irritating. But I mean, fortunately, quite early on in the attempt, and yeah, of course they're in slot 7. I mean, that means they'll be in slot 1, I guess, when they come around on turn 3. Fortunately, quite early in the video with the attempts, we got to see it actually come into play, not just on the first turn where they took that hit from Zamasu, but then obviously we saw the AoE, even though it was after they'd attacked, like, it would have, even if it was a normal attack, it would have been the exact same scenario, but we got to see them get hit by that AoE and take big damage when obviously they should have taken considerably less damage than that with their passive, were it actually activating correctly. So hopefully this is something that will get fixed sooner rather than later, because the 19 and Giro EZA is really, really good and is a massive boost to the Android team. The funny thing is as well, when I was looking at their thing to see what leader skills they were on, in terms of over 200%, they do only have the new Android 16. But they're on the 170 lead for Omega, because he has power absorption. And the funny thing is, like, I guess the only real Android unit you'd run on Omega's team is Super 17. But, like, against a Ki Blast super boss, it might not actually be the worst option in the world to have them on the team, because they've got decent defense after they super, they heal when they super, and they wouldn't be able to be damaged by the Ki Blast super boss. So if you're doing in an event with a boss that does a Ki Blast super attack with Omega's team, then they could actually be kind of good on there. Let me know if you guys want to see a showcase of them on that team, because obviously with double Omegas with their passives in play, giving that crazy amount of extra defense, like, their start of turn defense would be super, super high. But there we go, getting supered on the wrong unit with Rose. So I guess we will just leave it there. We got to see in action this part of their passive not activating properly, so hopefully this gets fixed sooner rather than later, because these guys are a really good EZA. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Have you seen this firsthand? Has it cost you runs in an event? Let me know down below in the comments. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.